What's up? Brian Tong here. WWDC is less than a week away, and this is everything that we expect to see at Apple's developer conference that's being held on Monday, June the 5th. Now, I got my invite, so I'll be there in person. Thanks to all of you for supporting this channel, and my coverage will be from inside, straight from the Apple Park mothership. So let's start where it always begins, and that's iOS 17, the operating system that will have the biggest impact on all of our daily lives. Now, I've done an in-depth video about this on my last video, but there's some new information here for iOS 17. Originally reported to be a fine-tuning update, iOS 17 looks to be getting a whole lot more than that, and one of the big new changes? Well, a new smart display mode for the iPhone 14 Pros that will include a new horizontal mode when the always-on lock screen is being used. Now, it's going to display things like the weather, your calendar, and notifications, and can only be used when the iPhone is in landscape mode. So think of it as Apple's first attempt to bring smart home hub features that the Amazon Echo and Google Nest Hub have had to Apple's own phones. And if it starts on the iPhone, you know it will eventually be coming to the iPad. Now, the iPhone is still really the center of their universe, so they can try things out like that here first and then just see how people are using it. iOS 17 is also expected to get a new journaling app that lets you take notes and is tied to your location, the places you've been, and can be shared to add a stronger social element. Now, my recent Apple Bits XL podcast, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman talked about how it's an app you really need to see in person, and describing it just doesn't do it justice, but it will be significant. Now, health is another big focus, and specifically mental health in this year's iOS. It's expected to bring a new feature for mood tracking and allow you to log your mood, answer questions about it, and track the results over time. The health app will also get new features to handle vision conditions and store that information, as well as making a larger format version of the app for iPadOS 17. Now, there's also going to be a revamped wallet app, and it could possibly get a navigation bar at the bottom to jump to different things from your cards to cash to keys, depending on what you need. AirPlay is expected to expand to make it easier to work in more places, including hotels. Yes, please. And SharePlay, that's expected to get a boost too. It's really a feature that people haven't latched onto, but SharePlay, I think, still has big potential if they continue to integrate it into more apps and features and let it be known. Now, thanks to the regulatory pressure from the European Union, the iPhone is expected to officially open up to third-party app stores and side-loading apps for the very first time. So users can install apps from sources other than Apple's own App Store. It's rumored to be part of iOS 17, but will only be available in the European Union and not the United States or anywhere else for now. So that's really the big stuff for iOS 17. And then let's just piggyback right into iPadOS 17. Not too much is known, but we do expect to see the lock screen customization that came to the iPhone in iOS 16 to finally make it to iPadOS 17. And still no word on the pipe dream that is multiple user logins on the iPad. Hey, they got me Final Cut Pro after all these years of crying for it, so yeah, I will wait for that.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
And macOS 14, info has been really quiet here. Not even a name has leaked out, and we can probably expect to see fine-tuning, maybe some integration with the new journaling app. I like being surprised, and maybe we'll see something there. But the biggest software update, according to Mark Gurman, is expected to be what's happening with watchOS 10. So that's going to get an all-new user interface that will reportedly be an extensive upgrade and focus more on widgets as a central part of the software. If you look at something like the Siri watch face for Apple Watch, that might be a little peak for the type of direction that they're going in, where we'll see widget stacks similar to how the iPhone and iPad handle widgets to scroll through them. It'll be everything from activity tracking to weather, stocks, and your calendar, and it will act as an overlay on top of any watch face. Okay, so that's all the software stuff. Now let's talk hardware. That's right, an all-new 15-inch MacBook Air is expected to be introduced at WWDC, and this is really a product that I have been basically wanting for my entire life. It's going to take design cues from the 13-inch MacBook Air that was announced at WWDC last year. How does it feel, Tim?
It feels great.
Awesome. He likes it. And this is the first time that Apple has made a bigger version of the Air, their most popular laptop. You know, same design, same ports, even same colors from what we heard, and a bigger display. It's expected to bring an Apple M2 chip inside with the powerhouse media engine and then perform like the current M2 batch of Macs, which are excellent. Now, I've also talked about it all year, but this does fit perfectly just right between the current entry-level 13-inch MacBook Air and the 14-inch MacBook Pro, somewhere in that $1499 or $1599 price point, but I just can't wait to see it in person. And now, for the most anticipated product of WWDC 23, the Apple Reality Pro headset, if that's what they're calling it, running XROS. And this is going to be a big deal for Apple, and it's always a huge deal whenever Apple introduces an all-new product category for them. Now, we know everything tells us we'll see it at the event, and their headset will offer both augmented reality and virtual reality experiences. Now, big props go out to Mark Gurman, who has given us a majority of the information for the headset that we know right now. Apple's headset is going to be premium, right? Ultra premium with that rumored $3,000 price point. Gulp. And it's expected to bring reportedly the best fidelity in a current headset with two 4K micro LED panels running an M2 level chipset that will be lighter in weight with a tethered battery pack, which sounds just so un-Apple, but we're gonna get back to that. Now, it's rumored to have the ability to switch between virtual reality and augmented reality modes by turning a digital crown-like toggle on the headset. It's expected to have features ranging from FaceTime calls, gaming, fitness and meditation, content consumption, and extended displays for work applications. I mean, that sounds like you're just throwing a whole lot of spaghetti on the wall just to see what sticks, but Apple has the time and resources to figure it all out. And I know everyone is still waiting to see what exactly will Apple show us to give us an idea of what they're thinking about this platform now, but really just kind of more their vision of how that might track, let's say, 5 or 10 years from now. And the idea of a tethered battery pack that you put in your pocket or your waist, that sounds so un-Apple from at least a design standpoint. And it would really be like a dongle battery. And I know that there had to be a lot of debate internally if that is what the design ended up being. But, you know, you think about it, and there really are benefits to this that would really differentiate their headset. Let's say if they can make it the lightest headset, that's easily the most comfortable out there with the highest visual fidelity and what we believe to be the best design and best looking headset in the market. That's a great start, right? Then the familiarity with iOS and iOS-like interface. You get access to the App Store that you'll use hand gestures and eye tracking to navigate, right? No controllers needed from the 14 cameras that are part of it. I mean, that's cool. And then they offer a few killer apps or experiences that leave this first group of people, journalists, content creators, who get to try this impressed and blown away. And that's how you get, right, this instant buzz around Apple and the VR space. And it's going to benefit the entire VR industry as a whole. Even Palmer Luckey, who is considered, right, the father of modern VR with the Oculus VR, he said the Apple headset is so good. And I'm absolutely not saying that you should just open your wallets up right away if this is indeed $3,000. I mean, I'll even have to figure that out for myself. But if you're the type of user who has an iPhone that is already, what, $1,000 to $2,000, I mean, this will easily be Apple's most complex product. And this initial pro level model is gonna have to be at least $2,500 by, you know, just by that alone. And Apple has rarely done anything like this, right? Enter a market that hasn't really figured it itself out yet at all. I mean, how many of you have a VR headset today that you haven't touched for months? Yeah, right here. But hey, maybe it can offer something new and a new direction and push the entire product category forward that can lead to something even greater 5 to 10 years from now. I mean, I'm looking at this as a long-term product, but they have to be in this space, right? They are still selling record level iPhones, but this is why all eyes will be on Apple at WWDC. So whether you are convinced a mixed reality headset matters to you or it's something that you don't care about at all, you'll still be watching. I know, because you can never doubt Apple, and it's going to be a really exciting time to be at an all-new product category announcement in Cupertino. I can't remember the last time that happened for me. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about WWDC in the comments. That's why you're there, so type away. Okay, that's it for this video, and I will be bringing you all the coverage I can from Cupertino at DubDub right here on my channel. There's gonna be so much. And hey, if you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast to get the latest deep dive with all these stories and new ones every week with special guests. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace and love.